Hey guys, this is Katie Dozier and Collin Moshman for CardsChat.com, and today we're going to be looking at a guide to GTO poker, a quick primer on game theory play. So Collin, my first question to you is, can you define GTO for us? Because I think it's pretty important in the realm of talking about how to play GTO.
Yes, it's a great buzzword, and there are two main ways to think about poker. And the first is exploitive play. What is the best way to play against this opponent?
So that's, for example, when we play heads up, and because you're such a nit, I continually bluff you until I win.
No, that's exactly what it is not. No, that's true. So you know that somebody's a net, maybe me, maybe not. You keep on bluffing them. And the opposite approach is GTO. What is the best way to play against a perfect opponent?
So that's how you should be playing against me when we play heads up, right?
You've got all the zingers in this one. Now, a key part of GTO is just making sure there are no easy ways a great player could take advantage of what you're doing so that you're unpredictable and there's no easy strategy to beat you. So, Katie, should you in fact play GTO?
All right. Well, at the risk of making another joke at your expense, against weak and predictable opponents, you should not be playing GTO because they're making errors where you can play exploitively and make more from them because of that. GTO analysis is going to be most applicable when you're up against tougher opponents. If you find yourself at a tough final table, you want to be really looking to play GTO a lot more, of course, than you would be if you're at a table with a bunch of loose passive players that you were just raking in the chips from.
Yes. So let's just finish up by looking at a couple of specific concepts that are part of a GTO framework. And the first is this idea of balanced ranges. All that means is that you have both bluff and value hands. You play that way. Okay, so let's say you check flop, check turn, bet river, whatever the line is. And some of the time you have strong hands and some of the time you have weak hands. And specifically, you should always have more value bets than bluffs in your betting range. Katie, I feel that you are kind of an habitual violator of this concept.
No comment on this. I'll talk to you when I start playing GTO heads up against you.
You've got like 100 bluffs for every value bet, but you make it work. And that's a great example of masterful exploitive play.
If not the most GTO specific one, yeah.
Exactly. Now, what about on the flip side when you're calling bets? You're supposed to call more often facing smaller bets than larger bets. And one specific example of that, if your opponent bets full pot and you fold more than half the time, he can show an automatic profit by doing that. So if you're playing GTO, you're supposed to call half the time, and you can pick your top 50% of hands to do that with. So that's a way you can use game theory to solve a specific problem in poker. So I think we're going to end here. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Collin Moshman and Katie Dozier for CardsChat.com.